My name is Erik Poeplow. I was born in 1970 in Rostock, in the north of East Germany, on the Baltic Sea. At the time, it was the biggest port in East Germany, a city of around 250,000 inhabitants. I attended school in East Germany and passed my high school leaving exam in 1990, just after the fall of the wall. I then went to Hamburg in West Germany in 1991 before moving to France in 2001. I used to go sailing, a sport well known for being expensive. The state paid for everything. For 6 or 7 years, I made the most of this opportunity. We traveled, we had a specialist school for sport, we had one teacher for every 3 pupils. Not many people are given this chance. So I can't really complain about all this. It was an opportunity for me. The Russians settled in East Germany in 1945. They imported their education system. Everyone had to study Russian. The Russians won the war against Germany and the Nazis. And after 1945, they focused on one thing. The young had to learn what had happened. We knew about the concentration camps, and we knew what the Germans had done in Russia. So we knew what the Germans had done during the war, and it was quite extreme. On the contrary, we didn't have the other side of the story, what the Russians had done, even after the war, because the war didn't end the day of the official surrender. The Russians remained in East Germany for years, and it was hard for people who lived there. And after 1945, it was hard too for people who went to Russia, because there were also concentration camps there. This part of history wasn't official. We were only given one side of the story. It was maybe more than Westerners got, but still it was just one side. We knew that some people were involved in the Stasi, some people around us, particularly in the sports system, which was of course of great interest to the state. The state wanted to protect its interests this way. We knew that people were involved, but we didn't know who. We could only have suspicions with regard to certain people. We knew we couldn't say everything we thought out loud, but it's something you learn to accept. Everyone accepts quite readily that they must comply when the stakes are not so high. The stakes for me were to practice sport, not fight against a system which had enabled me to do so. So for me, it was not an issue. The figures, though, are quite surprising. At the end of the movie, Goodbye Lenin, they say that 100,000 people were professional Stasi recruits. I'm not totally sure about the figure, but it's still quite interesting and surprising. And that's without counting the people who gave information as volunteers, if we can use that term. We also knew the Stasi pressurized people to enroll by promising young people that they could sit the high school final exam, for example. For me, this aspect of life was easy because I attended a specialist school, but for normal pupils, only 3 to 5 out of 80, 90, or 100 could take the exam. Times were different. They were selected based not only on their grades, although that was the most important factor, but also on their attitude towards the state. If they had expressed negative opinions about the state, or if they had relatives who were known for being opposed to it, they would be excluded. For these people, it was a problem. This was sort of what happened with Angela Merkel, who made arrangements with the state. For people with priests in their families, it wasn't easy. But there were also people who didn't reveal their family ties with aunts or uncles in the West, for example.
Le réseau familial, donc avec des gens de l'oncle et tante à l'ouest, par exemple.
The Stasi worked hard to find the links and see if there was a weakness that could be used against them. Life in the former GDR was also difficult because, professionally speaking, the situation was not really challenging. Your career was more or less planned in advance, and lies were a part of everyday life. I remember a story about a shipbuilding company making big fishing boats. Every year they overperformed, and one day the state asked them for money back to inject into the building of a ship which was meant to be sold to the Russians. This boat was never built. They worked so fast that they forgot to build the boat. In fact, they lied to officials to show they could work in line with the plans, but without doing the actual work. So there were also things going on which are hard to believe.